Good afternoon, everybody. Second time's a charm. So here we are on Happy Wednesday. Today we're presenting using a familiar tool in a new way, portable parallel bars from the ICU translation into the home. I'll check with my team to make sure everybody can hear us, but thank you again. I'm honored to welcome Karen Kraus, the Director of Rehabilitation at Cornerstone VNA based in Rochester, New Hampshire. Karen and her team launched a pilot this year, starting in January, to bring the bars directly into the patient's home. And the results have been incredibly positive for both the patient and the clinicians. This was originally presented at the American Congress for Rehabilitative Medicine in Chicago this past October. Karen, thank you so much for your leadership, your collaboration, and for being here to share your experience. And I'm going to test out with my crowd to see if they're able to get in and finally hear us. Okay, how about now? We're kind of starting a little bit late, so hopefully as people chime in, you can see us and maybe make a comment in the comment section. But before we begin, I just wanted to kind of give a little background that the portable parallel bars were originally developed for isolated patients in collaboration with VA occupational and physical therapists. And what's interesting is they are now manufactured by our Medica, and you can see a demonstration either on our website or by simply Googling portable parallel bars. But we're here today to learn about 4 unique case studies and why it's so important to have the right equipment and how it can truly change the course of recovery and why improving access is so critical. Now, with that, I am confirming if we're live, and I think we're good to go. So Karen, let's start again. Thank you so much. I am not hearing you, Karen. I don't know if you are on mute. I heard you before say thank you, so I think we should be okay. Your mic is good. Nope.
I haven't touched it.
There you go. You got it.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I don't know why I was delayed on Teams today too.
Okay.
Well, thank you, Gina. Just so everybody knows, my background is I am a physical therapist, but I am the rehab director over at Cornerstone VNA. And being in the home, we run into many, many challenges, one being the lack of equipment. The equipment that you can get in a gym, at a hospital or a rehab, we no longer can access. And so we've always been struggling. And this, I met Gina a year ago at the ACRM conference, and we hooked up to try to launch these because having them in the home is a game changer for us in home care. So number one, it increases the confidence of the patient, which makes it significantly better for the patient to be able to perform. It keeps us safer and allows us to do activities that we weren't able to do without them. And it increases, again, our safety with activity. So our first person is Darren. He was the person I had in mind when I came across these parallel bars with Gina. He's a incomplete spinal cord, 19-year-old motorcycle accident. He currently is now walking short distances, but we were able to get these bars to him where he was able to get up in the bars, walk with a little more ease than he was with, say, a walker, and able to do balance activities that he wouldn't otherwise be able to do because one leg was significantly weaker. And the next person. So this is probably our biggest success story of them all. this is Janet. She is a woman that has MS, but was walking and ended up breaking her leg or her ankle. She went to rehab and they dropped her and ended up breaking her leg. And so not only did she have a second break, she also was very fearful. She had major PTSD about falling and being dropped. It was very traumatic for her. When we finally got these parallel bars to use with her, she hadn't stood in a year. She has been in bed for a year, and she stood for the first time in this picture. She cried after she sat down. It was a very moving experience. And from there on in, she gained confidence and was able to stand. She would have never stood without these bars. Next person.
There you go.
Oh, Jen. So, yeah. And then the next person was a gentleman named Brian. He was somebody that just had a significant decline. He's a younger gentleman in his 50s, owns a restaurant, and had all sorts of things that went downhill, including he had neck surgery, but then he ended up with sepsis and a UTI and all these different things. And he was independent at the beginning of the year, and then was max assist to transfer, and max assist, he couldn't even walk. And so with the use of the parallel bars, he was able to get up, start standing, and start walking. The bars aided in enough support to give him that extra stability so he could start these activities. And by the time we discharged, he was walking short distances in his home. So he used the bars for balance and standing tolerance, as well as starting the gait training. And our last person is John. He sustained a fall, which he had a fracture in his spine, and it caused some cord compression, which caused him to not be able to use his legs weren't as strong as they normally are. And complicated by that is he has metastatic lung cancer. So he had cancer on top of the fracture. And he had to leave rehab due to early release because of insurance constraints. And so he was not ready to come home, and he was working successfully in the parallel bars at the rehab. And so we were really happy that we could reproduce that at home for him and continue his therapy instead of having him come home and almost feel stranded and try to get him up and standing without the parallel bar. So that was a fabulous transition for him to be able to have those at home and continue the work that he was doing in the rehab. So with all of these cases, what we are surmising, there's no test, but we're surmising that they were able to get up quicker, get up safer, and actually progress their therapy faster because they were able to feel secure and stable while doing standing activities. So they overcame some of the early movement barriers, which is the fear and like the needing that little extra support. Normally we're using our own bodies for that. So that makes them fearful, and it causes us to put our bodies at risk of possibly being harmed by having somebody using us as the parallel bars. So there was providing a safer, more structured alternative to walking. They felt more secure. It was more secure than a walker, obviously, is the next level of device, but it still moves, it still tips. These do not. So it gives them that extra security. And so we were seeing better outcomes. What we're hoping for this moving forward is that we're able to get these into durable medical equipment companies that would actually rent them to people at home. So when it comes time for us to see somebody, if they're not at a point where they could easily use a walker, that we'd be able to order these parallel bars, get them in the home, and use them with the patient until they don't need them anymore. There's lots of financial constraints with that. We are also trying to, which is going to take a while, to get a billing code from Medicare that would actually be helpful in the transition to getting these into a durable medical equipment company. But in the meantime, we're hoping that some people will take this on and they'll just get a slow return on investment initially.
And that's clearly, as we kind of wrap up, we launched the pilot with great success. Again, thank you for your collaboration with this to prove the efficacy around improvements in the recovery journey. And today, we want to leave everybody with a clear invitation, and that is that we are actively recruiting home health agencies and DMEs to partner and participate in the next phase, which is a multi-center clinical pilot. And this opportunity is going to provide an time for people to join and validate, to contribute to real world data and help shape emerging safe patient handling practice standards. This will play a pivotal role in accelerating that reimbursement adoption for early mobility into both hospitals and home settings. But as Karen alluded to, right now, there is no CPT code. So we do believe that with the advance in recovery, that out-of-pocket rental is feasible, and that there is an ROI for the DMEs. There is certainly a demand. We get requests weekly by home care individuals and caregivers looking for parallel bars because they understand that the stability does provide immense confidence with clients standing and actually able to carry out their therapy treatment. If you're interested in partnering with us, or if you have a colleague that should be involved, we would love to connect. Please reach out to myself. I'm Gina Adams. Be sure to follow us at Wearology to keep up with the status of our pilots. And of course, I'd like to thank Karen again for all of your time and expertise in sharing these case studies to really put it out into the world that patients do improve when they have the right equipment. And I think together we will be able to expand access for everybody. Karen, do you have any parting words for your fellow clinicians out there? Okay, well, thank you so much. With that, we appreciate everybody's time this afternoon. Sorry for the technology glitch. We will have this recorded and available to watch at a later date. So thank you, everybody. Wishing you, your family, and colleagues a wonderful holiday season. And thanks again for everybody's time. Appreciate it. Enjoy your afternoon.
Bye.